Hey guys, so for this week's video I have a book review for you. I actually have two book reviews. I usually always do two book reviews in one video, and they are on books that I've read recently and I want to talk about it. And yeah, I'm gonna preface this video with telling you that I'm taping in my hallway, and if there's any noise in the background I apologize, but it's the hallway and sound travels and stuff. So currently it's quiet, and let's hope that it stays quiet as I'm taping. Okay, so the first book I'm going to speak about is a book that I hauled a couple months ago. I don't know when exactly I hauled it. The book is called 20 Something, 20 Everything by Christine Hassler. And when I bought the book, I mentioned that I bought it because I had watched some of Christine's videos. She has a YouTube channel. I'll link it below. And I really liked the information she was giving in the video. And the book is specifically targeted for people going through a quarter-life crisis, a 20-something crisis. Yeah, so for anyone in their 20s kind of feeling lost or just confused or frustrated or whatever, and she gives you some information on it. If you want, I would suggest checking out her channel probably first, so you can kind of get an idea of like her thoughts and stuff. So the book itself has a lot of exercises in the book for you to do. So it has, I don't know how many chapters. The book is sitting actually right there, but I have stuff on top of it, so I don't want to move it. Yeah, and every chapter is about different aspects. You know, she has like a chapter talking about financial matters, because that's something that's always on the mind of someone going through a quarter-life crisis, or usually she'll give you her thoughts on, you know, that topic, and then she will also give you some stories of other women who are going through something that she's going to talk to you about. And then she has exercises to get you to kind of think and to write down answers to these questions that are thought-provoking, so that you can examine it and so you can have a better idea of like what you're going through. And you know, it's just basically the whole book is for you to put into words, write down, pen to paper, certain things to get you thinking of maybe stuff that you've forgotten, and to kind of get you out of that 20 crisis, the 20-something crisis, or the quarter-life crisis. And I find it really helpful. I actually really enjoy the book. I like reading the stories, and I especially like doing the little like exercises that she has in the books. I haven't read it from like cover to cover. I kind of just pick and choose depending on my mood, on the day, you know, what I want to like read about, and then, you know, I answer some questions about it. And yeah, so far it's been really helpful. So if you are going through a quarter-life crisis, or you might be, or you're just feeling confused or frustrated or down or whatever, something's bothering you, I would suggest to get this book. I think it's really helpful. And as I mentioned, check out her videos as well, and it will give you a better idea. Okay, so the second book that I'm going to speak to you about is The Book of Fate, written by Parioush Saniee. And I hauled this book actually recently. In the last haul that I did, the book was featured in it, and I finished reading it I think about like a week ago, and I absolutely love the book. I loved it. There aren't a lot of books that I would give maybe like 4 stars to, but this was one of them. This book in particular is one that I gave 4 stars to, and I just found it to be extremely moving. I loved it so much. I actually don't even know if there's a second part to it or anything. I hope I don't know, I haven't done the research, but yeah, I have to be honest, when I started the book, I actually read a couple pages in and then I closed it because I was too upset to keep reading, and I wasn't sure if I was going to continue to read. But I'm so glad that I revisited a couple days. I always do that, I always revisit my books just in case. And I kept reading and I couldn't put it down because it was so good. So the story starts off with the main character being a young girl and going up into, you know, maturity, her being an adult, and it takes place I think over 50 years, and you get to see different parts of her life basically, and also different parts in history as she's growing up, you know, with political regimes changing and the government coming and going, and her life, it becomes very intertwined with politics. So you get to see that more than you would probably in another book, which is really interesting to me, especially because, I don't know, I like kind of getting some history facts in there, and I also just like learning about like the Middle East and things like that. And this place, it takes place in Iran, I think I mentioned. So the main character's name is Masume. Can't say her name. I think it's Masume. Yeah, so the book starts off with her moving from her hometown Qum to Tehran, and how that move affects her family, and in turns affects her and her life and the course of her life. And the whole book is just like really moving. You get to see how she as a female is in her family, in society, how she's treated, how she's regarded, which caused me to feel upset a lot of the times, because the feminists and just yeah, you know, I just got upset a lot. But which is actually funny, when I started the book, I read a couple pages in, and then I had to put it down because I felt so angry at what was happening to the main character that I just couldn't read anymore. But I revisited the book afterwards, like a couple days after, and I'm really happy that I stuck through it because it was such a good book. So anyways, it starts off with, like I said, they're moving towns, and when she's there, she ends up dishonoring the family, supposedly, and she gets married off to some guy that she'd never meet. She doesn't even know what he looks like, and moves away from her family, and things start really picking up there, because from then on, from her marriage on, you see so many changes come into her life, and a lot of them have to do with politics, because there's not really a stable government, a stable regime where she lives in Iran. And so as the years keep passing by, things keep, you know, going back and forth, and it's just amazing how you get to see that the main character, Masume, she is able to just persevere and get through all the adversity and just like overcome things, and she doesn't allow herself to just wallow and just sit in her bad situation and just think about negative thoughts. She's able to like pick herself up and keep going. And I really like reading about characters that are like that, especially female characters that are strong, and strong in the sense that they are able to look past what's happening in the moment to ensure that they're working towards their future, and they're not letting themselves succumb to just any kind of pressure or their low feelings or anything like that. So I really admire that characteristic. So I really admire that characteristic in Masume. You see that a lot throughout the book. She goes through so much, but it's a 50 years of her life, so she would go through a lot of things. You know, you see her through children and through deaths, and it's just like it's such a good book. If you're interested in reading fiction that has to do with like real actual events or just real people, real places, I would suggest to get this book. If you're interested in reading about, I don't know, just someone's perspective from Iran or the Middle East, or just learning a little bit more, I would suggest to get this book. Or even if you're not, I would say just give this book a try. Get past the first couple pages. It's probably going to be tough. Trust me, it might be tough, but it's so worth it. I cried when I finished reading this book because it was just so moving. I felt just wrapped up in all of the main character's feelings and thoughts, and every time she was upset, I felt upset for her. And I think that's a good thing. That's a sign the writer is actually good at writing. That they're able to just capture your attention, pull you into the story, and just make you feel like you're a part of it. And I just absolutely love the book. If I have to say anything that kind of, not that I didn't like, because I liked the book enough, I would have to say that I did feel that it was a bit too long, because I like towards the end of the books, as I was getting towards the end of the book, I kind of felt like it was taking a bit too long to kind of get to where I felt they were gonna go. And then the other thing was that I felt really, really upset about how it ended, how it like left off. Those are the only two things I have to say. But other than that, I really love the book. And what else? Yeah, I can't say anything else. Every time that I read a book, I have a book log that I put in and I write about it, like my own reviews and stuff. And this was one of the few books that I gave like 4 stars to. I don't know if I gave it 5. I don't have my book with me right now, but it was such a good book. Alright guys, so that is my review for the 2 books, The Book of Fae and 20 Something 20 Everything. I will put all the relevant information in the down bar below. All the relevant information in the down bar below. I will also link the last review that I did and the previous video to this one, which was a BookCon video if you're interested. I mean BookCon, oh my god, I'm confused. Sorry, Brooklyn Book Festival videos. I put 2 up from last week, some clips that I taped on the panels. It's really cool. The second panel, it was Amber Shears that was there, and I got to talk to her afterwards, which was amazing. I was so happy. Anyways, I will also link my social media and anything that's relevant to this video. Thank you to you guys for sticking with me every week and watching my videos, hopefully, and enjoying and subscribing and all that stuff, and I will see you guys next week with a new video. Bye!